On the show tonight, the update regarding neighborhood watches and level 4 restrictions. We speak to our guest Hayley from the Rustic Square, our general first aid tip from our local volunteer medics, and then we meet the face behind Total Control. Stay tuned. Folks, good evening and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour. Now, I've sort of stopped counting the episodes because I just know I'm going to mess up somewhere and either go one back or 1 2 forward. So we'll just say welcome to another episode. And as always, before we go any further, let me bring in my partner in crime fighting, co-host, co-presenter, whatever you want to call him, Graham. Graham, good evening.
Good evening, Aristo, and how are you?
No, can't complain. It's like a nippy winter is on us, but yes, we're going to try and warm the people up with another fully packed show tonight.
No, it's going to be a good show. I'm looking forward to the interviews tonight, learning something new, finding out what's in our areas, and to see where we can have fun and get to know the people that we work with, people that we live around, and support them.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's always fun to see who's around. And as always, folks, please, our comments are there. If you want to comment, if you just want to say hi, pop us a little comment. If you want to ask a question to either myself, Graham, or one of our guests, pop it there. Bear in mind, sometimes there's a bit of a delay on the comments. But if we pick them up, we do try and come around to them. And then obviously, we have got a few ways you can get hold of us. You can WhatsApp us during the show. If you want any questions, ask any of our guests anything, pop us a WhatsApp. That WhatsApp line normally opens an hour before the show. So please save that number, WhatsApp us if you want any information. You can also email us if you want any information or would like to join the show or, just say hello, chat, whatever. We're always looking for people to come and join the show. I think Graham found someone interesting tonight. We'll hear what she's got to say a bit later, what she does. But yeah, please get in touch. We really want people to come and join and be part of the show. So let me just press all the buttons here.
I think it's been an interesting 2 weeks since our last show. Obviously, the Big C came out and our president addressed the nation, call it a week and a half ago. So that's changed the way our lives have run for the last 2 weeks. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of it this coming weekend. And obviously that's, as I said, affected our lives, affected the neighborhood watches. So it's going to be interesting to see what changes that has brought in, how that's affected the neighborhood watches, Aristo.
Yeah, no, there's definitely been some things that have sort of also impacted on getting guests on the show because they run into issues. There's people getting sick and all that. So it is definitely out there. And I think, Summa Graham, on that, I'm going to jump in here with, last week we spoke about this briefly, about these people here. Let me just see the Karoo Droogtehulp guys. And we sort of mentioned we wanted to see if we can get something together for them. And I think within the first, 5 minutes of us mentioning it, we already got pledges of over 1,000 Rand that we're going to donate to these people. So please, folks, if you want to donate something or get involved, please drop us a line. Those guys really need a bit of help there, and go visit their Facebook page, see what they're doing. As I said, and there was a challenge thrown down by Burgundy Neighbourhood Watch to all other neighbourhood watches to sort of better or equal their 200 Rand. I know Boertasig Neighbourhood Watch has jumped on there. They will add their 200 Rand. The guys from Precinct Medics have added, got together and added a few things, and they've added the 200 Rand in. So so we'll put it out there, and we'll keep an eye on our pages and our stuff. We'll give more information. I think, yes, that was an awesome idea. And let me see, there's already a comment coming in. There's someone that's saying hi to Graham. So, yeah, folks, the Karoo Droogtehulp is definitely out there. Those farmers really need some help. So we will launch. And on that, we've got something big we're planning, but more on that a bit later in the show. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss that. I think it's something that's never happened in our area before. So, and then I think most people probably got the message by now, but I think we'll just bring it up. Our drive-through that we had planned, obviously we had to postpone that, not only due to the level 4 restrictions that they said no gatherings. We decided it's in the best interest and safety to postpone it.
Yes.
But also the weather on Saturday wasn't the greatest, so it wouldn't have been a nice day to braai. I mean, it was been lekker for you to just drive up and get your food, but the braaiers would have had a bit of a hard time. So that has been postponed. Obviously, we have to wait to the next family meeting to see what's going to happen and what's going on until we will create a new date for that. But again, we will let everybody know. And then, yeah, Graham, what else have we got there?
Well, if I can just touch on that, obviously our lockdown level changed, was adjusted. That had various ramifications. So, for example, our Tuesday night briefings came to an abrupt halt because we cannot hold a gathering. And that will resume only once we're out of the current lockdown stages. So please keep an eye on the Street Watch groups and the various groups. We will put the information out there so that you know when we can hold these meetings again. And that's going to kind of tie in. I know Dayan put a message out there. Dayan, that information is going to come out once we can physically meet again. But I'll put an update on that group. Our Neighbourhood Watch patrollers, this has affected them, whether it is the new recruits who are in the process of training up to join Neighbourhood Watch. And when I say training up, that sounds like so much work. It's a very simple process. But everybody's been held back because there's certain things that we cannot do under the current lockdown. So a lot of our patrollers haven't been able to patrol. However, we do have a vast number within the Boersig, Edgewood, let's call it the entire precinct's neighborhood watchers, who are all permitted patrollers and have got all of the required documentation to be able to patrol within the curfew hours and still try and keep our suburbs safe and assist SAPs where they can. So to those patrollers who are still out, thank you very much. I'm sure that everybody in every house will turn around and applaud you for giving of your time and still helping out when you could turn around and just sit at home. Arista, I think that those are the major changes. Obviously, no gatherings can be held, so nothing from the Neighbourhood Watch side can actually be done until this changes. But as I said, we'll put that information out on the groups as soon as we have the green light to be able to carry on and function in the more traditional manner.
Yeah. No, we will definitely, as I say, folks, we're also bound by all the regulations. As Graham said, some of our members have got permits. But yeah, we've got members out there. As you know, not all our members are out there. So we need the help of the street watchers, the public out there to help us, keep us, feeding us information and getting stuff through to us. I think the biggest problem we have at the moment, Graham, is the fact that everywhere where we've now got street lamps or anything with solar panels and batteries, they are being stolen. The guys are climbing those poles and they are stealing the batteries and the solar panels, not only in the dog park, but also here in the reserve at Bosmansdam and Potsdam. They took the one panel and everything from the gate. So that gate can't lock now. So we really need the people to help us keep a lookup. And if they see anything, hear noise, put it on the group so we can get response teams out there and see if we can get these out. They're just causing a lot of damage and it's costing a lot of money to get all the stuff replaced the whole time.
Arissa, it's as simple as I'm driving down the road, I see something that is suspicious. I go onto my WhatsApp, if I'm not driving, that is, if I'm the passenger.
Yes.
Put their information out, saw something suspect on this road, this time, this was the general look of the individual. You know, all of those little things, a little task like that can go a real long way in fighting crime. If you're sitting in your lounge and you just spot somebody suspiciously walking past with an article that doesn't look normal, you know, or is out of the ordinary, putting that on the groups allows us to be notified of it and get the various role players in security to assist to identify whether SAPS is required, whether it's something that an armed response can address or CIB can address. Without the community's backing in this, it's like running around with one arm behind your back while you're trying to do something. So we're very thankful for everybody who does assist with that, and we applaud anybody to get onto those groups, whether you're in Edgemead or in Richwood or in Burgundy. Get onto those groups. That little contribution can go a long way.
That's it, yes. I think, Graham, we almost forgot. Folks, we just need to sort of remind you, if you please share this. We have some issues with our neighborhood addresses. So we've set up a temporary email address. So if you need to get hold of us, recruitment, information, anything like that, if you want to know how to join, please email us at, what is it now? I can't even see, bnw@etsara.co.za. Graham will get those emails. I'll get those emails. We will then pass it on to the necessary people, or if needs to, we'll respond and get you the necessary information. I think quickly, Graham, maybe let's just touch on the thing. I know we've signed up a lot of people, but it's pretty easy to sign up these days to Neighbourhood Watch. Yes. You can all sign up during COVID.
No. We've streamlined the process as much as we possibly can. So now it's fairly simple. We will provide you with the forms. You complete them. You get them through to us. We will then designate a day. And we're trying to arrange this now on a Saturday to make it most convenient for everybody, where you can come through to the Borders Police Station. We get your vetting done, and that takes basically 24 hours, 48 hours, naturally dependent on whether we've got any COVID restrictions, or SAP staff are also susceptible to COVID and will also require to be off duty if they do contract it or is a scare, in the same way that it would apply to myself. And we get that information out. Once that's come back as verified and your vetting has passed, then we would hold training, which would be probably one evening after work, or alternatively a Saturday afternoon if it suited everybody. Probably, I'm guessing about an hour, maybe an hour and a half with the new material.
About an hour and a half, yes.
And then from there, you basically onboarded and do a couple patrols with a seasoned or a regular patroller. And once you're through that, then you're capable of patrolling yourself. And once again, that's patrols, from walking patrols, vehicle patrols, bicycle patrols, whatever suits your requirement, wherever you can assist us will be great. Some guys come on literally just to be eyes and ears. Some guys come on because they want to assist, and they want to do it whenever they do their evening walk, 5 o'clock to 5:30 every evening or every second evening. So there's space for everybody's gift, irrespective of the size. And it's an easy format now to proceed through.
Yeah, and also we're also looking for admin people. We're looking for someone that can join us and help us with our social media, keep our Facebook and all that going. Us old fogies are getting a bit, we don't know all this lack of technology to make the Facebook pages look nice. So if there's a young person out there that would like to join and help us with our Facebook, please sign up. We also need admin people. So you don't have to be a patroller. You can always also be admin. There's room for everybody on that. So yeah, folks, let's get those, share the information, get the email address out there, let the people contact us, and we sign you up. Then I think, Graham, the other thing, we sort of in the beginning, I think show 2 or 3 somewhere, we spoke to the guys from Namola. Just want to remind the people again that Bottasach Neighbourhood Watch eSport, we do have a community page on Namola. So what does that mean? It means, firstly, if you don't know what Namola is, it is an awesome app that helps you in any emergency. It doesn't matter where you are in South Africa. If you've got an emergency, you go on your phone, you push a button, they contact you, and they arrange everything for you. But Namola has taken this one step further. They have started community. So there is a Bottasach Neighbourhood Watch community. If you live in the Bottasach area, you join up there. If you've got an emergency, you put it there. Our first responders get notified and they will come out and assist. So yes, please, if you don't have Namola, get it now. Just go onto the Play Store, download Namola. I don't know, Graham, where do you find the stuff on iPhones? You're an iPhone man.
On the iOS store as well.
Okay, there we go. So go get
And it's
the
free.
download. It's free. Yes, it's free. It's
Yeah.
all free. Download the Namola app, register, and you signed up. We will be in the week. We will post a link again to our community. So you just follow that link. Once you got Namola installed, we get the notification and we allow you to the group and you're part of Namola. And as I said, you can use that for any emergency. They've got a lot of features on there. But I think we'll set another show aside one night and just get a bit more information on that again. So yeah, I think I had a note here, Graham. We had another ops during the weekend. I think that was quite a successful with quite a few members out on that one.
No, definitely. There was it was an interesting evening. There was about 2 events that we had to deal with, and an accident where we could facilitate SAPs. So I think it was very successful. It was great to see the number of patrollers from the various suburbs out. And with those 2 incidents being I think the only incidences reported that night, I regard that as very, very successful.
Definitely.
High visibility and showing a presence is a deterrent. We don't necessarily have to physically do anything other than sometimes just be seen.
That's it, yeah. So on that, folks, we like always, as Graham said, it's a team effort. We'd like to thank the people of Botha SAPs. They support us and we support them. Law enforcement was out there assisting us. We had all the AR companies in the area were out there assisting us. And then, of course, as Graham said, all the neighborhood watches, like the precinct neighborhood watches, which is Botha, Edgemead Zone 4 and Reachwood, all out there during the ops, keeping everybody safe. So yeah, I think that's sort of what was up in Neighbourhood Watch land a couple of weeks now. Besides for the level lockdown, we've been going on out there.
Yeah.
So let's just make sure. I don't think we've missed anything. Sorry, I must just scroll my notes here. Yeah. So folks, on that then, let's see. Let me just see. We've got all that. I am going to. We're jumbling the show up a bit. We don't like to keep it standard, so we're going to jumble it up a bit. So what I'm going to do quickly, I'm going to say goodbye to Graham just for a moment. Graham, we'll see you just now again. Yeah. So, folks, as we always say, a show like this gets put together with lots of hard work. We work a long time on this, and we can't do this without sponsors. So the show is being sponsored by Etra Productions. They put this whole thing together for us. Geardo RC, we've had them on the show before. They sort of help out with getting stuff together. And then the big one, the main one, Total Control Electrical. Now, some of you have seen him before with a different jacket. But tonight, I'm bringing Dave in as Total Control as the main sponsor. And let's find out a bit, what is Total Control all about? Dave, good evening and welcome to the show.
How's it, Risto? How are you?
No complaints. Dave, I'm sort of going to jump away and ask Total Control. How did it start and how long have you guys been going in Botha?
Sure. Started at home in the garage, converted a garage into an office 21 years ago, March. Yeah. And we just dealt with corporates, not really bringing cash customers in. And we dealt with the bigger corporates like breweries and things like that, supplying with them all their electrics. And in 2006, I opened up at the village center, a little shop, tiny little shop in conjunction with a computer company. And the partnership lasted about a year, and then I took over the entire shop. And now we've grown into our third shop now, which you see is quite large. So we've got about 250 square meters of electrical equipment and a vast stock holding of just purely electrical equipment.
And does that range sort of from, like, if I need a globe or something, or you just sort of aiming for the big guy that needs like 200 meters of cable? Like, can I come in and buy a meter of cable? And
you can come and buy a meter of cable, one light bulb, as much as you like. Obviously, our bigger corporates take hundreds at a time and thousands of meters, but we deal with SA breweries, Bowler Plastics and Parmalats and all the rest of it, as well as much as the local customers come in. And we love the local customers, obviously, because it's a big part of our turnover as well.
Yeah. So I must confess, folks, I'm a great supporter of Total Control, not just because he supports the show, but it's nice to go into the shop. You go in there to buy a bulb quickly, and in half an hour, 45 minutes, you walk out because you've had a chat and a catch up and had a friendly vibe there. So, Dave, I think that is sort of, it's almost like a little family business there. People always come and have a chat and care before they leave.
Yeah, my son works for me. I've got my nephew Craig and one of Stephen's best friends as well. So there's the four of us in the shop. And one of us is always out on the road doing deliveries and collections to all the corporates and picking up the stock and material for the shop as well. Hours Monday to Friday, well, Monday to Thursday basically is 8 to 5, and then Fridays we finish a little bit earlier. Well, they do. I'm on the golf course, store, and then Saturdays is from 9 to 1.
Yeah, so in Saturdays, folks, you can also pop in there. And then, Dave, I have to ask this, and I sort of got to know Dave in joining Neighbourhood Watch and meeting Dave in Neighbourhood Watch. Dave, you've always been, or you and Total Control been a great supporter of Neighbourhood Watch's community. I mean, you support Precinct Medics, you support our show. I know it's a funny question. Why do you do it? I mean, people want to know, right? Why is this guy doing all this?
Well, the community support me, and it's nice to just give back to the community as well. So as much as they support me, as least I can give by something back, and by helping the Neighbourhood Watchers and the community, and obviously SATs and that. And that's what I do. You've got to say thank you somehow.
Yeah. Well, I must say from our side, I mean, definitely from the show side and from all that, and from Neighbourhood Watch side, we really appreciate what you and Total Control do for us.
Thank you to the community.
Yeah, no, it's great. Then, folks, you know, Dave has sort of been there. He's given a lot. He's given prizes. He's always donating. So, and you've heard us talk about, and I've mentioned this to Dave quickly, and he sort of said, yeah, that sounds like a good idea as soon as it's allowed. And I know people are a bit scared, but as soon as we've had our family meeting and hopefully they drop the levels a bit, we are going to do something that, Dave, I don't think we've seen around here. We're actually going to broadcast the show live from Dave's shop. So we're going to run the show we're going to start an hour earlier. We'll run it from 7 to 8. And I've sort of mentioned, Dave, come, let's open the shop in that time and run a few specials. And Dave is like, why not? Let's do it. So, Dave, we're definitely going to do that. We're going to open the shop for that hour and we're going to run a bit special.
That's excellent. Yeah, great support.
That's it. Dave, anything else? I know it's difficult to sort of sell your own business, but give us anything specials. What specials you're running? What is sort of the best product at the moment, or something nice to get out there?
Just a tip. I mean, everybody's complaining about the high electricity prices and that at the moment, and we've all got these little downlighters in our house. And we all look up and we've got 20 or 50 of them floating around in the house. And this little one's a 50-watt halogen, which is a lot of power. And you can just replace it, I can't get this camera right, with a little LED, which is 5 watt. And that's 50 against 5, and you get the same amount of light. It just doesn't make sense. So if you've got a pack of 10 of these, is equivalent to the same power as one of these halogens.
Yeah.
You're saving a hell of a lot of power.
And sort of, you don't have to give the price on air, but sort of price difference between the halogen and the LED one.
Well, the halogen is old technology. They're phasing these out very soon. So everything's LED. A little LED globe like this, a 5-watt LED, is 20 Rand. The old school halogens are, I think they're about 46 Rand now, 40-odd Rand now. They've become quite pricey because, the scarcity of them and phasing them out as well. So a good energy saving tip is try and replace your downlights or your light bulbs with LEDs, and you'll save at least 60 to 70% of your power in your house just on your lighting as well. Yeah.
But that Dave, that is the new sort of thing is now you can pretty much get any sort of light fitting, whatever, dimmable in LED. They're not just limited to certain things.
The only thing when you start dimming the LEDs, it's not a direct replacement. You have to buy a dimmable LED globe. You get the normal standard non-dimmable, and then you get a dimmable LED globe. And they're obviously double the price at about 40 Rand a globe.
Yeah.
And then in the same token, you have to change the dimmer module inside the light switch as well, which is even more money. So yeah, it's if you want to change, it's well worth the while if you're dimming the lights. But yeah, I mean, to save 70, 80% of your power just on lighting, it's a lot of saving at the end.
Yeah. And I know we've got them at work. You also got the tube lights also now come pretty much just in LED, which is also, you don't need starters and stuff for them.
Yeah, that's the electrical game now. Before you could sell a ballast, a fluorescent starter, and a fluorescent tube. And now you just start with one LED tube. So your sales market is really diminished. And the LED tubes we sell, I've had them up in my shop for, I think I've been in that big shop now 4.5 years, going on 5 years. And I've never had to replace a tube. And the power output on the tube is really consistent. You lose a little bit of the lumen output, but not too much. Whereas in the old school fluorescent tube, you could lose the lumen output 20% in the first year. So you think it's bright, but it's not. So LED technology, they are expensive initially to purchase, but going forward, you get 5 years and you're saving again 50% of your power output as well.
Yeah, so it's a long-term saving to get those. As I say, they last longer and so on. Dave, I think any specials you're running in the shop there or anything?
Everything is special there. we try and serve the community and give good prices. All our prices are, and it's always negotiable on quantities and things like that. So you come in with a nice big order and quantity in the product, then we can sit back and I can negotiate with my suppliers as well and see we can work a deal out for you. Especially doing a complete house. And we've got quite a vast range of different types of plugs and switches that you can choose from as well. And what we do is what we don't have in stock, we can get for you. And we try and get it within 24 hours. Like lighting is such a diverse range of different, everybody's got their own choices in lighting. So you can go to our lighting suppliers, Radiant, Duralux, Brightstar, have a look at their catalogs, give us part numbers, and we can get them in for you. And we just work on a cost-plus situation on that.
Cool. Yeah, I must say, I've put Dave to the challenge quite a few times. I sort of WhatsApp him a picture and said, Dave, can you get this? He says, yeah, sure, let me check. And I'm telling you, 24, 48 hours, depending on where it comes from, Dave has got my stock. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there now to collect. So
for 40 years.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, folks, please, there we go. Dave, Total Control. Dave, I'm just quickly going to put this over our faces there. There's the address down in the village center. Yep. Let's just duck to the side and let me quickly get the contact details up. So I must just find the right button. So there we go, folks. If you need any information or anything, you can email Dave at totalcontrol.co.za. There is the shop's number, 021-558-6405. So please pop in there. Go say hi to Dave and the guys there. And they also on, before I forget, you can go look on the website and on Facebook as well. And they post a lot of stuff on Facebook. So please go and have a look at them there. Let me just open our faces here. So there we go, Dave. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And again, from us at the Power Hour, from me, from Kotasdag Neighbourhood Watch side, and I think from everybody, thank you for the continuous support Total Control is giving to us, and we will definitely make sure we get more people in your shop.
Thank you very much for your support as well, and to the community. Thank you very much for all the support. Thank you.
There we go. Thanks, Dave. Good night.
Yes, have a good evening.
There we go, folks. Dave from Total Control. I think, Graham, you've also supported that shop, and it's a nice shop to go into. It really is.
You know what, Arista? I sat backstage now while you were interviewing Dave, and he spoke about that LED light. So I sat here thinking, I put so many LED lights in this room, so many in that room. I counted quickly 20 LED lights, right, of the little downlighters. Mm-hmm. And knowing that it was the old lights were 50 watt, now to 5 watts. I'm running, my electrical consumption is running only on the equivalent of 2 of those old downlighters. And I'm now lighting up my entire house with that. So that is definitely, I've noticed that in my electrical bill there's a difference. But it definitely got me thinking. Yeah. Dave's shop as well. I love going in there. We always have a little bit of a chat here and there. It looks like we've got a message for Dave there. We'll have to put this Diane, we'll have to get him in connection with Dave.
Yeah.
It's very easy. It's around the corner from where you live. Total Control, top of, was it Freiburger? Corner Freiburger and Stephen Owen.
Yeah. So, or just pop him an email, Dave at Total Control, or give him a call. Dave will definitely assist you, and he will sort you out on that. So, folks, please support all our that. And then on that, we are going to, tonight we're going to do it a little bit different, if I can find the right stuff. Graham is going to have a chat to, again, you've met Gary before. Not really a first date tip, more I think on, well, I'll let them explain. So let's go over to Graham and Gary.
Hi there, Gary. How are you this evening?
Hi, Graham. Doing well, thanks. And yourself?
No, I'm doing well, thanks.
Good.
Been a busy week, but been a good week.
Yeah.
Gary, I sat thinking about what we are going to discuss tonight. And we've, over the last, when I say couple of weeks, I think it's 7, 8, so 2 weeks, 16 weeks, we've had various topics. I'm going to change the topic slightly, right? I know what it is you do, right? And I keep hearing this word, precinct medics. And I've seen in the beginning of this insert was a logo as well. Gary, can you fill me in as to who the precinct medics are, what it is they do, how it's come about, and why you got involved in that?
Okay, so precinct medics consists of members of the various neighborhood watches in our precinct, in the Boerdersig precinct, namely, as I say, Boerdersig itself, Edgemead Zone 4, as well as from Richwood. And we, as members of the Neighbourhood Watch, some of us are registered medics as such, have worked, some of us still do work, some part-time in emergency services. So we are registered medics. And often we hear and people ask on various Neighbourhood Watch platforms, we need assistance, we need a medic for this, or we need a medic for that. And so we decided, a couple of us got together, and we decided that we sort of pool our resources, and we act as a sort of, if I can say, intermediate assistance before the emergency services proper get to a household, say, who's got a medical emergency. In other words, we are there. We qualified, as I say, just as qualified as the guys on the ambulance, but we don't have an ambulance, obviously. We go in our private capacity, and we assist where we can. We help to maybe stabilize a patient, do whatever we can, and then give a proper handover to the emergency services when they arrive, when the ambulance arrives, to obviously transport the patient to hospital. Yes. So that's how we got involved. And there's a couple of us. We've lost 1 or 2 members. In fact, over the years, we've been going for 2 or 3 years now. 1 or 2 guys have moved away. But we also, not only the registered medics, we do also have 1 or 2 first responders, first aiders, emergency first responders who are from the various neighborhood watches who have also joined us and also go out from time to time in the case of an emergency.
So, Gary, I suppose then you've now explained it's all volunteer work. Naturally, some of you might be retired, some might not. So you've got day jobs as well. I suppose your availability is based on your job and the time that you have. So if somebody does call for the precinct medics to assist while they've already called for an ambulance if it's required, it boils down to whichever of you are available to go and assist.
That's correct. As I say, most of us are working, and so as a result, we aren't always available. But the moment we see on the various neighborhood watch platforms or WhatsApp groups that there's an emergency, assistance is required, if any of us are available, we normally will say we go in and we put it on there, because obviously we don't want to have overkill. You don't want to have too many people responding to a scene. You get one patient and you've got 7 medics. So what we do is we put it on there. For example, if I see that one of my colleagues, Alan Arista, is also one of our medics, or Arista or Debbie, or one of them are on their way, then it's pointless me going as well, unless it's something quite a big emergency, maybe a large motor vehicle accident or something. We need lots of hands. That's a different case. But for a medical emergency at home, if one or two guys go, then they can assist to stabilize the patient until the emergency services arrive. So it's as I say, it's to fill that gap, because as we know and we've discussed on this platform before, sometimes there's a long wait for an ambulance.
Yes.
So at least the patient can get some type of care in the meantime.
Yeah. Well, look, to be honest, I love the idea of it, simply because I'm not a paramedic. So should something happen to one of my children, I might not know how to respond, might not know what is the best thing to do. And should I have to wait for 3 or 4 hours for an ambulance, then I would also rather have a volunteer come through with all of the experiences and the licensing to be able to do it, come and assist me and help me out to carry me to that point that my medical aid can help cover and take care of what's required. So on that side, if I can say thank you on behalf of everybody, I know there's 8 or 9 of you, I think, in the precinct. So to each and every one of you, thank you very much for what you do. I know personally, I've used you guys once already. So it definitely adds value to the community, and it helps us at the time that we actually need it the most. So that side, Gary, thank you very, very much, and appreciate your time this evening that you've given to us again.
So, Graham, if I may just add, maybe people aren't sure how to get hold of the precinct medics. Currently, I advise people join your street watches, because once the message goes out there, it spreads like wildfire, really. Goes onto all the groups, and there's always one of us who will see the messages. And as I say, if we are available, we will assist. Even if it means if we can't be there, we'll do the calling for emergency services on your behalf if need be. But and as I say, we all volunteers. The equipment we use, everything we use is all of our own. Which has been nice is that we have had some donations coming over the years, over the months, I shall say. And in fact, the drive-through that was postponed now, part of it was going to be some funds coming towards us, not to us as individuals, but to buy equipment which would go into a pool, and then as we need it, for example, if I use it, whatever I use, the disposable equipment I use, then there would be something to replace it for me, and not sort of, because it's been donated to us. So that's how we operate at the moment.
Yeah. And on that note, I know with a few of the accidents that have taken place in and around the Boersig precinct, because the medics are in close proximity to us, you guys generally are some of the first to be at those scenes, to utilize your equipment. Something as simple as nobody wants to use a second-hand bandage. So every time you use a bandage or use something, it's a consumable, but those consumable costs do add up. So it's totally understandable why we didn't have the drive-through.
No, sure.
I look forward to the time that we can have that drive-through to help assist the precinct medics in replenishing their stock, because you never know whether you are going to be the recipient of that next brand new bandage or that next painkiller, for example.
Not painkillers. We're not allowed to do. We're not allowed to give out painkillers. Just put it.
Okay. Well, then I'll keep it to bandages for now.
Sure.
No, but that's perfect, Gary. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Graham. Thanks.
Have a wonderful week, and I look forward to chatting with you again soon.
Thank you. Yeah. Cheers, man.
All right. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.
You see, Arista, that is why I'm not a paramedic, because I would probably be dispensing panados to everybody for everything.
Yep. No, that's a big no. We can't do that. But if you bleed, we can stop the bleeding. That we can definitely do.
So, no, that's perfect.
Folks, quickly, I think I just want to bring this up here. It is in Afrikaans. But I think before we get to Hayley, I see Hayley's waiting patiently there backstage. Hayley, we're going to be with you like in the next minute. This little post has been doing the rounds, and I think it is something people can sort of look at and make use of to help emergency services and stuff like that. A lot of people have advertised it, but the more people that share this, the more people will know about it, and it'll probably make it a lot easier. I can't really see my screen, but it basically is, it comes down to tying a ribbon on your fence or on your gate. I'm going to translate what I can see. So if you sort of a white ribbon, it means no one in your house has got COVID, anything is go. So folks, again, this just helps the medics or whoever comes to assist you, because if there is a COVID patient, there's special precautions that need to be taken. If you do call for a medic, please, if you know there's COVID, mention it to them if you suspect, because they have to take precautions. They've also got families. So they sort of put this together. So a white ribbon, everything is kosher. No one in the house has got COVID or anything like that. Let me just see if I can actually get this on another screen so I can see. No, I can't. Sorry. What is that next one? Sorry, I must just duck around a yellow ribbon. If you suspect someone has got COVID or someone is sick in the house, put a yellow ribbon on your fence just so the guys can know and they can be prepared. If I look around here, a red one, that means there's definitely a COVID case, a confirmed COVID case in your house. Again, it just helps the medics or whoever comes to assist you to prepare a bit and know what they're dealing with. And then it's sort of, they've used the green one. There's a lot of people out there that are struggling with getting food or anything like that. So if you need any sort of assistance like that, there's a lot of, if I can call them associations, groups or stuff out there in watching out for this, assisting people with food parcels and all that. Locals helping locals. I know the BRA has got something going. So folks, sort of have a look, use this idea. To say the more people we get to use this and sort of use the ribbon thing, the more it will spread, the more it will make it easier for everybody to know what's going on. Don't be ashamed if it's COVID in your house. It's not something to be ashamed of. It can happen, but rather warn the people so they can take the necessary precautions and we don't spread the virus all over the place. So I think that was quite a good idea. So on that sort of, I didn't want to go from a COVID note to something else, but we're going to bring on our main guest for tonight. All I know, it is Hayley. Graham, I will put the poster up and bring her in. You can say what it's all about.
Thank you very much, Arista. Arista, to be totally honest, I don't really know what the rustic square is about. However, it does sound intriguing. So, Hayley, and there's your feed. Perfect. Hayley, welcome to the show this evening. I can't really give it too much of an introduction because I'd like to leave that up to you. Hayley, can you just tell us what it is that you do? What is the Rustic Square?
So the Rustic Square is something I started a few years ago. Unemployed, couldn't find work. So I started playing around with melt and pour soaps, and I specialized in kiddies' character soaps just to do something at markets and that. And then from there, I was brave enough to try cold process soap, which is making soap from scratch. And then from there, a very good friend of mine, Kerry, she introduced me into candle making. And it's just grown from there exponentially. Each person in their own craft basically will go do research on different blends for candles. So a lot of people think, oh, you just pour the wax, sets, you got a candle. That's not the case.
Yes.
I have had very big swear words trying to get candles to set, candles that don't crack, candles that have got cracks with the bubbles that come off the wick. So it's not as simple as just pouring wax and boom, you got a candle. So there's different types of waxes, different types of wax blends. You do pillar candles, you do container candles. So over the years, I've played around with different ideas. A lot of it started with pillar candles, where I did a lot of memorial candles, baptism candles and stuff. And over the years, I've basically streamlined the business. I was doing the soaps, the homemade bath lotions, bath salts, you name it. I was doing a lot. I was even baking, doing chocolates. So I kind of paired the two products together, being bath nice stuff with candles, and that's where I've streamlined the business. And I've just recently brought my mom in. She does craft, so it's specialized Bombay oil and herb oils for meat rubs. We do the Moroccan meat rub, which is actually very nice. So we're busy playing around with that now as well to bring mom into the business. And the name, the Rustic Square, basically it originated from when something's handmade. It's not perfect. It's not mass produced in a factory. There's no two products alike. So even if I do 3 of the same thing, they're not the same because it's handmade. All candles are hand poured, baby sat for 24 hours. Soaps, handmade soaps, lots of natural ingredients, not tested on animals, hyperallergenic. I've been specializing in soaps for people who suffer with eczema and psoriasis. So I've been working on that as a project. I've done a mold making course to mold my own things to create different shapes for candles and stuff. And recently, I've introduced personalized candles. So it's 100% natural soy candle made with imported perfume oil. So, for example, if you know your best friend likes wearing a certain brand by Hugo Boss or whoever, then I make a candle specialized for them in their fragrance. So I'm working on a range now where I've got the candle as well as a body butter and bath salts in their fragrance, and it's personalized to that person. So yeah, there's lots in it. So the Rustic Square is the 4 corners of the business, but rustic being it's not perfect, it's handmade.
Okay. I've heard of people trying the soap thing before. I can remember as a child we used to melt, I think it was wax crayons, and my parents, I think, would go purchase the cheap white candles from in those days the 7-Elevens, and we would melt it on the stove and dip our wicks in it and make all oddly shaped candles. It was always disastrous. So I can imagine there's quite a technique. I mean, ours was always literally triangular. It had a huge base and a narrow point. So when you say you're making your own molds, that obviously corrects some of those problems. But I mean, it must be quite a task. You also spoke about babysitting. Is there a process involved in making that candle?
Yeah. So you've got your different types of wax. So you've got paraffin, you've got soy, you've got coconut wax. So your paraffin is your more not natural wax, which most of your candles are made from at store-bought. So you get your German wax, you get your Chinese wax. So Chinese wax is when you light a candle and all the wax runs over and messes all over the show. That's Chinese wax, no offense. Your German wax actually burns in towards itself, and so there's no overflow running and messing all over the show. Your soy wax is a wax that's derived from the soybean, and it's a more natural, cleaner burning wax. It doesn't give off any toxic fumes like the paraffin wax. And the scent throw in soy wax and coconut wax. So if you open a candle and you get that great smell, that's called your cold scent throw. When you light it and it fills the room, the smell fills the room, that's your hot scent throw. So your soy wax is one of the best wax to use. It is a very expensive wax. At the moment, there is a shortage of paraffin wax and soy wax in the country. So it's a bit of a nightmare at the moment with trying to source stuff. But the joy where it comes to creating something, whether it's a candle or a soap or like I know my mom, for example, she suffers terribly with psoriasis. So I've been working on a non-perfume, non-colorant soap for people with psoriasis and eczema. So I'm working a lot with that. I work a lot with the CBD oil as well and hemp oil. And your hemp oil is considered your the holy grail oil with regards to cosmetics from a chromogenic rating. So chromogenic means your clogging abilities. So hemp oil and jojoba oil don't clog your pores, whether you're using it as a face cream or a body lotion.
Okay. Well, Hayley, I'm going to be totally honest now. I'm way out of my depth with 90% of what you've spoken. And I think that half of that was based on the fact of my gender. Because to me, soap is soap. However, I can totally imagine, and I've seen soaps everywhere, that it's just not soap. It's so much more. And then you mentioned the customizing of things, and a thought came to my mind. If you're making the molds, I'm going to put out a challenge at some point, because I'm pretty sure my son would like a Fortnite figurine as a candle. How possible? When you say customized, what do you mean by customized? Are we just talking a round ball, a small cylinder shape, or a tubular shape? What can be customized in your candles?
So your straight. So normally with your customized memorial candles, baptism candles, you actually print on. It's a very, very thin grade paper, and you actually laminate it into the wax. So when you get a candle, it's got in loving memory of and the picture of the person, and they're actually laminating a picture into a pillar candle.
Okay.
So with regards to making course, so I can work with resin, I can work with silicone and that type of thing. So I would take a figurine, for example, and I would mold it in silicone, and then after 6 hours, silicone set, unmold, toy safe, and then from there I can either do it as a soap shaped as, I know my favorite character is Fish Sticks, love that guy. So I could do then a candle in that shape, or I could do a soap in the shape. I do workshops as well. So one of my kiddies workshops I do is bath bomb surprise. So it's creating the bath bomb mixture. It works on the children's fine motor skills, gross motor skills, and it's a lot of fun. So if I'm able to get like little characters of like Paw Patrol or Fortnite and that type of thing, we actually put it inside the bath bomb, and it then becomes like a toy with bath time fun. So my kiddies range is called Squishy Kids. So there's bath bombs where it goes in the bath, it colors the water, makes lovely foam. In my bath bombs, I use coconut oil, which is really good for children, adults as well. None of my fragrances are synthetic. None of my colorants are synthetic. Everything's natural. So bath bomb goes in the water, foam, glitter, and then after the bath, they rewarded with a little toy. And we also do, so with the kiddies soap making workshops, it's called Soap Dish Surprise. We do the same concept, but in a glycerine soap. So they get to choose a toy. They then fill the mold with the glycerine soap. It sets quite quickly. And there they've got a soap, and you guaranteed your kids are going to be clean because they're going to wash like crazy to get the soap finished, just to get the toy out.
Yeah. Well, Hayley, I see time is running out on us. So quickly, Arista, if we can put, there's your details. That's an email address and a cell phone number. I think I love the concept of the toy thing. My mind is working overtime for my nephew and my niece. They would absolutely love some of these things. So how do people get hold of you to find out about A, the courses, and B, the products that you can do?
So social media is being one of the biggest platforms right now for everybody to go to. So I've got a Facebook page, which I think the link's going to come up on my Facebook page. I'm busy loading everything on the store. I do adult workshops as well for candle making, soap making, and that type of thing. So everything will eventually come up onto the store. I've also created a group called the TRS, which stands for the Rustic Square Trading Post, because I'm very big on supporting small businesses. So whoever's got a small business, please join the TRS posting page where I promote your business. You know, it's all about the small businesses staying alive in this time of COVID and lockdown. So yeah, everything's on Facebook at this moment.
That is perfect. Hayley, thank you so much for teaching me something about the soaps, knowing what's available, and for taking the time to tell our viewers what options there are in and around soaps and how to get hold of really a more unique product than I thought it ever could be. It's more than just that little rose pet-shaped soap nowadays. So thank you very much for what you're doing. We wish you well for the future on this. And I'll have to ring you up sometime for something for my niece and nephew. Thank you so much.
No,
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Bye. There we go. Arista, a little bit out of my depth there with soaps. I thought soap was just something that was just a bar that I got to use. Candles pretty useful for load shedding. So definitely, I think anybody wants to know more or have a unique product, get hold of the Rustic Square.
Yeah. I also just thought the candle was a candle, and here I hear there's like all these different kind of candle waxes, and they burn this way and melt that way.
Yeah.
To me, a candle was something you light with a match and it makes a flame. But yeah, we definitely learned something there tonight on that one.
Yeah.
So there's Graham. There's something else we have to go visit once lockdown allows us. Hayley, if you can still hear us, we'll definitely be in touch, and we're going to bring the camera around to you one day as well as soon as we can. We've got a few people to visit, do a little insert there by you, and fly it back to the viewers and see what we can get.
Yeah. Then Arista, I saw a message from Dave a couple minutes ago after the segment where we spoke to Gary, and we mentioned that obviously the precinct medics, it's privately financed at the moment, and when equipment gets used, it's got to be replaced. And Dave very nicely volunteered that if anybody wanted to give a donation, he could receive it at the shop at Total Control, and then pass it on to precinct medics. So I'm pretty sure the precinct medics could arrange a jar or a something or a way of receiving this at Dave's shop.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely. And Dave, yeah, thank you for that. As I say, any little thing, medical equipment is becoming very expensive, and it costs, just to sort of give you an idea, on one call you can empty a bottle of oxygen, and to refill that bottle is almost 200 rand. So it's a lot of money. So yes, any bit of donation can help. And yeah, Dave, thanks very much for helping us on that. So folks, if you have any donations or something, pop in there by Dave. He will gladly take it in, save it, and make sure the guys from the medics get it. And we will do a little thank you to everybody that gives a bit of a donation to that. Yeah, the guys work very hard, and so yeah, that is that's sort of another show in the bag on this bit of chilly winter's evening. Just a reminder, folks, of our contact details. If you got anything, please pop us a mail. You can email us on that one. If you need to get hold of, let's bring it up. There's Dave details again. If you need anything electrical wise, please get in touch with Dave. If you need to get in touch with Hayley, with finding out more of the soap, there's all her details. For now, we will catch up, and we will sort of post these contact details on our group. And I think on that, Graham, folks, if you want to get reminders of when the show is up, it's very easy. Go to our YouTube channel, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and just hit that little reminder bell, and you'll get a reminder of when this show comes up or when there's any other show or live shows. And also join the Facebook page. Not the Facebook page, the Facebook group. You will find that on the Extra Productions Facebook page. If you join the group, we will be posting more and more information on there. We'll sharing contact details of our guests on there. So yeah, please go and join those things. Keep an eye up, and that's how we'll spread the information. Said COVID has blocked us a little bit, but we're definitely trying to keep it going out there. So that is about it, Graham. I think we're going to sort of look at again, it all depends what happens with the next family meeting. All going well, we're hitting the hour, but the 21st of July will be the next show. But again, keep an eye on our Facebook pages, and we will give you updates on that. And I think on that, Graham, thank you again for joining us. It was an awesome
thank you
show.
for having me.
And
And
we
look
will
forward
see
to
you on
seeing
the
you
next
again.
one. Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool. Cheers.
Cheers, Otto.
There we go, folks. Another show has come to an end. So please join us on the 21st. We will keep you up to date and have a good one.